What is up, guys? Jake from OneHive here with a recruitment video. This is just to help you guys understand what we're looking for at OneHive and all of the OneHive families, how maybe you can better your applications when you send them in, and just the difficulty that we are facing with the amount of applications we get. I have representatives from each of the clan families here. First, I've got Lord Byron from 1.0. I've got Bender from Genesis, and also is going to be talking about Alpha. And I've got Iron Wolf from 2.0 and is going to be talking for Invicta as well. What is going on, guys?
Hey, how you
How's it
doing?
going, Jake? Thanks for having us.
You bet, man.
Hey, Jake.
Thank all you guys for coming. These guys are, some of them staying up late to do this, so I do appreciate it. It's the number one question I get asked. I get it asked every day of my life. And the sad part is I'm not in the recruitment side. I don't see applications. I don't know what's going on. Sometimes I don't even know what the requirements are because sometimes that does change. So what I want to do, guys, is first of all, just ask you individually. We'll start with you, Lord Byron. How many applications is OneHive getting in the 24-hour period on average?
On average, something like 30 or 40 applications for the main OneHive clan.
Okay, so 30, 40 a day for us. And what I try to tell people is, and go ahead, I'll throw this out there. What's the normal turnaround time for a response for OneHive?
For OneHive, I'd say anywhere from 1 to 3 or 4 days.
Okay. I try to tell people that, the people that handle this, that handle the recruiting part, they're just people. They've got lives, they've got jobs, they've got families. This is not their full-time gig to process applicants for OneHive. So please try to be patient. It comes a lot and it does build up. It's day after day after day, and they do their best to get through them. But that's a lot to deal with just on top of everything else that you deal with, and then just wanting to play the game and enjoy it. So 30 to 40 for OneHive. Let's go to Bender. Bender, talk to us about Genesis and what in Alpha. I know Alpha's probably an explosion right now, but how many applications are you guys dealing with on a day-to-day basis?
Basically, on a bad day, anywhere between 25 to 40, so similar to 1.0, but on a good day, 150.
So
Yeah,
wildly
so
fluctuates.
it gets a little bit mind-boggling.
Yeah, cool. All right, and Iron Wolf, how about 2.0 and for Alpha? Oh, excuse me, for Invicta.
Yeah, it's very similar. Uh, we're seeing between 30 and 60. Just depends on what's going on in the community. Has our name been out there recently? And
Right.
and they saw some awesome video that you actually put out there, Jake. And, and you feature one of us, and honestly, applications explode.
Right, right. It goes up and down as the exposure does. And I forgot to ask you, Bender, what is the normal turnaround time for a response? And does everybody get a response for Genesis and Alpha?
Yeah, they sure do. Look, it'll be anywhere between a couple of days to a week.
Okay.
If you haven't had a response, you're in a good place, in a second opinions box, so that's where more people review it. So if you haven't got a reply, just be patient. It's a big process for us, so just be patient, kick back, and you will get a response either way, whether you've been accepted for the waiting list or whether you've been rejected. Everyone gets replied to. We have a lot of people that do their application and then come straight in game and say, can you please have a look at our application? We do get to it and you will get an answer. The people that say they haven't had an answer in a month or 2 months, it's probably because they wrote their email address down wrong.
Right. Okay. So maybe even a little bit longer. If you're talking, it's been 5, 6 days and you haven't heard anything, might actually be a good sign. So just hold tight, and eventually you will hear something positive or negative. Iron Wolf, same thing to you. What's the normal response time on an application for you guys?
We actually have a pretty good crew of people who are working on the applications, so our turnaround time is no later than 48 hours.
Nice.
And we actually strive for a 1-day turnaround is our goal. I
Nice.
think the key thing we like to encourage applicants is please don't be frustrated if you're put on our wait list or you're applying and it's taking a little bit longer to get to you. We'll get to you as soon as we can. And the number one thing that we're seeing, Jake, is people getting frustrated applying in game.
Mm-hmm.
And we just want to forewarn everyone now that if you apply in game, that application will be rejected. We just don't have time to handle that.
Sure.
So please follow up through our email system, just like when you first applied.
Well, honestly, anybody that's applying in game, they have not done their homework. So I really don't feel sorry for people like that. What this is more about is just getting people that have tried. Maybe they've tried multiple times, and there's some frustration there. But again, you're talking about, you look at the 3 clans or 4 clans, I guess 5 now, and you start adding up those numbers. I mean, it's hundreds of applications every day across the clan's family that we have to go through. So, yeah, it's just the moral of the story here is just be patient. You should get a response, some form or another, within, let's say, a week's time. So just hang tight. Let's talk about the type of player that each clan is looking for. Byron, we'll start with you. OneHive, what's the requirements? Just even further than just requirements, what type of Clash of Clans player are you going to want to be to have a good shot at getting into OneHive?
Sure. So, first and foremost, we're looking for people whose approach to the game aligns with OneHive and the OneHive family. So, people who are hardcore warriors, people who are committed to 100% fair play, and people who are meeting our requirements. So the basics are, Townhall 9 or Townhall 10, well developed and balanced offense and defense. Heroes at Townhall 9, the bare minimum is 15-15, but as we fill up, we're really looking more along the lines of 20-20.
Mm-hmm.
At Townhall 10, it's a pretty narrow roster that we put probably 13 or 14 Townhall 10s on our roster at any given time. So it kind of depends who's coming and going within the clan. But you're probably going to be 35-35 with pretty well developed Townhall 10 defense to be considered.
Right, and I get it asked a lot, and anything outside of heroes, I know that there's some old things on the website, like, how many things are cleared. I know that you guys do look at activity indicators. Is there anything that you want to talk about as far as that? Is there something that maybe is going to, if people, they need to know going in, hey, if you've only had 5 attacks this season and it's halfway through the season, you're out. I mean, is there something that you guys look for like that?
There's not as much, as far as the activity itself. I know a lot of things can vary. Even just looking at my own game, I'm pretty much max Townhall 9, so I don't end up with a lot of attacks per se that stack up. But war stars are a decent indication of at least experience. You don't have to have 500 or 600 war stars, but if you have 50 or 60 war stars and you're a max Townhall 9, we're probably going to wonder how serious you've been and how experienced you are within the war game. So, I'd say we're looking for probably at least 250, somewhere in that range, war stars. Other keys really are the troop levels. Have you leveled up all the key recruits? Have you leveled up your hogs, your golems, witches, maybe your hounds, loons? So depending on which side of the game you're more specialized in, everything should look balanced, and it should look like you're a really hardcore 3-star warrior.
Right. That's what I tell people a lot of times, that when, they're like, why I meet the requirements, why didn't I get in? And I'm like, there's something. I can't tell you. I don't know. I didn't look at your application, but there's something indicating to those guys that you're not as active or you're not as experienced as probably what we're looking for. So it needs to be sort of a total package, your application, basically.
Yeah. And I kind of look at it like if you could write your entire application on the back of a business card, you're probably not given enough of a detail. You're not selling yourself well enough to really set yourself apart from the dozens or hundreds of other applicants we're going to see that week.
Right. Yeah, we're going to get into that, but let's go to Bender. Bender, I know we talked about before we started recording. I guess Genesis right now is simply not recruiting at this point. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Basically, Alpha is the new Genesis. We started Genesis to get hold of the Townhall 7 and 8 beasts due to the mains stop recruiting any lower than Townhall 9. So we've slowly all progressed and organically growing Townhall 9s within Genesis. 1.0 sees that as the best approach. So we just needed a way and a means to keep things going. So we've created Alpha with everyone's support. And so now you do apply for Alpha. And then if you are that beast raider that we're looking for, you will go on to Genesis and ideally one of the main clans at your discretion.
Right, nice. So basically for Alpha, you're looking for Townhall 7s, Townhall 8s. Is there any type of requirements as far as hero levels? What is the, I guess, the minimums you're looking for to get into Alpha? Because that's a big question I'm getting lately.
Well, basically for Townhall 7s, max, near max, will help you transition to 8 inside. 8s, we're looking anywhere between low 8s with level 3 dragons, ideally level 4 hogs if you've got them. Anything up to max. One of the indicators we look for a max Townhall 8, within the clan we like progression. We don't like to see people stagnate. So if we see you're a max Townhall 8 and you're nice and tidy, is 1500, that is not progression in our eyes. So that sort of definitely won't be looked at too hard. Basically, any application, if they read the website, read the requirements, which is one of the biggest problems we have, people just sort of get excited and away they go with an application and they've got pink walls. Well, basically, pink walls is the cut-off for us. Got to look at it, guys, like a job interview. You've got to stand out from the X amount of other applicants. So, as Byron said, if you can write it on a credit card or on the back of a business card, just not enough input. Free up, write what you can and write as much as what you can, and we'll definitely look into it.
Another question I get asked is, can you be a Townhall 9 and apply to Genesis, let's say, in the future? Or are you saying Genesis is going to be strictly bringing in applicants from Alpha, or is there going to be a day come where you can apply directly to Genesis?
Possibly in the future. At the moment, we're not accepting 9s. 8.5s are looked at. A lot of the guys that are max and go on the waiting list, by the time they get here, they're a fresh 9 or an 8.5 as we call it. Everyone will be looked at, but there isn't a box to select Townhall 9 at this time.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Let's move on to Iron Wolf. Iron Wolf, tell me the same question. What type of players are you looking for at 2.0 and at Invicta?
Absolutely. I think the key thing that we first and foremost we like everyone to understand is that OneHive 2.0 is the sister clan to OneHive 1.0, and the way it works out is OneHive and Invicta are feeder clan into 2.0. So when you're applying, you will be trying out in Invicta, and then based on your performance, possibly transfer into 2.0. So I'd like to clarify that right off the bat. The second thing is I can't emphasize enough, Jake, is we are 100% fair play clan. We look for any indicators that you might not share that philosophy. And it is like a job interview, Bender. I completely agree with you. We expect you to do your research, see what the OneHive philosophy is, see what we're all about, see what drives us to join OneHive in the first place. And if you can express that sentiment in your applications, that makes you stand out. Another thing that makes you stand out is you don't just put, 3 words per question in your application. You really show that passion that says, I'm not just applying to 20 different war clans. I want to be part of OneHive only. It's something that says, this is the clan for me. This is the one I've watched the videos. I've watched Jake's videos. You've watched the OneHive labs, OneHive raids, and this is where you want to be. And so more beyond even the requirements, that's what is going to get you into the clan. It's also going to be probably part of the reason why you stay. And we want someone ultimately who has the time to dedicate to a hardcore war clan. I think all of us here certainly admit, we put a lot of time into this. So if you feel you can't commit, don't apply. We're hardcore. Take it very seriously, and we also have a lot of fun.
Right.
In terms of requirements for Invicta, we only take Townhall 9 and Townhall 10. And if you are at Townhall 10, I actually highly encourage you to apply. We're actually actively recruiting Townhall 10s. We want a couple more in our main 2.0 clan. So for Townhall 9s, for Invicta, we require 12 heroes. You need to have at least all skull walls, not higher. And we want max war troops. So it's the same thing that my friend over there, Lord Byron, was talking about in terms of hogs, golems. We're a little bit more flexible on Valks. That's about it. But we're also talking about the dark spells as well. We really want you to max out your poison and have level 2 whatever. So really poison everything else. So those are the key requirements in terms of what we're looking for. For 2.0, it's slightly different. It's 15 heroes for Townhall 9. For Townhall 10, what we're looking for in Invicta is at least 25 heroes. Okay. And we want you to have a lava core as well, or you will not be accepted.
All right. Let me interject one question for you here.
Sure.
So anybody that is interested in joining 2.0, is there, I've not been on the website in a long time. Is it something that you can't even apply to 2.0? You have to apply to Invicta, or is there sort of a box to check for either, or how does that work?
Yeah, that's a great question, Jake. There is an option to apply directly for 2.0, but however, and you'll be judged accordingly. If you feel that you can get into the 2.0 clan faster than maybe a tryout for who's trying out just for Invicta itself,
Hmm.
um, we have a little stronger requirements in that regard. But absolutely, Jake, we advertised it for both Invicta and
Okay.
2.0.
Great. That's perfect because I didn't know if it was something that you had. I know you're saying it's more of a traditional feeder type system. It sounds like
Correct.
than is with OneHive and Genesis. So that's awesome though. So that's okay. So you're looking for that Town Hall 9, Town Hall 10. So no Town Hall 8s in Invicta or in 2.0. That they Town Hall 7s, Town Hall 8s. They've all got to go through Alpha at this point.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Another thing we want to emphasize is that I think I've talked to Ona. I know he shares a similar belief. Is we're not here to train you. We're
Right.
really looking for people who are well versed in 3-star strategies. Presses shows that you've been watching the videos, that you're committed, that you can consistently a 3-star. We're looking for people to add value. And honestly, we just received so many applicants. You really have to demonstrate that know what you're talking about. You know the
Yep.
types of base. We'll look at your base design as well. We'll look at that base, and it's the whole package. And ultimately, at the end of the day, Jake, it's who has the same values and beliefs that we do.
Right.
Who
Yep.
shares our values? Who's really dedicated for the cause of fair play, and who's really wanting to help take that to the next level.
Nice. All right. Well, then let's just wrap this up. I think we've answered a lot of questions that people ask on a regular basis. This will help me out because I can simply point them to this video. But LB, give me, if there's a lot of guys out there that feel like they're just sort of lost in the crowd. And I think you guys have all sort of already touched on it. But is there any other tips you want to give someone to help their applications to do that, to stand out amongst the hundreds that we get every week and give them a better chance of getting a second look possibly?
Yeah, I do think we've really kind of touched on all the key points, and it's go into some level of detail. Let us into your head of how you approach a war attack. Show us that you have some well thought out war based design, and just let us see more about you than just I use Laloon and GoHo.
Hmm.
Period.
Right. Okay. Bender, how about you? Bender, you with us?
Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, look, the same guys. There's a lot of different indicators, but just what we're looking for is people that are well versed. A lot of people are under the wrong impression that we'll teach you how to be a beast attacker. You need to have a fairly decent, the more decent the better, grasp of mechanics and attack strategies and stuff like that. And basically, with our open classroom environment, we will teach you some little tricks you've never seen, probably. I know that was the same for me. And we will progress you and polish you. So, yeah, just look at our requirements and go from there, and just whatever you can add to your application to make it stand out from the next guy, do it.
Right, perfect. All right, Iron Wolf, how about you guys? Any last just little tips or something
Sure,
you want to leave?
absolutely. I think ultimately it's about the culture. What Invicta is really looking for to see if you're going to move on to that next level for 2.0, and this is going to determine both in the application as well as when you do try out. Because just because you're trying out doesn't mean you'll make the cut. I think that's something I want to emphasize. It's a very highly competitive process with limited slots. So you need to be really active in chat. You need to show your dedication, not just about your war attacks. It's your ability to help others be successful as well.
Hmm.
Overall, your general attitude. What I mean by that is if anyone's a Walking Dead fan, don't be a porch dick. We want you to be cool, be respectful to others, and help everyone else succeed.
Nice. All right, one more thing that I just thought of that I get asked all the time, and I want to go through real quickly and ask you guys is about age requirements. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of it, but I'm pretty sure that each clan does have an age requirement. I don't know if you guys want to reveal the actual number or just say adults only, but LB, just real quick, what age requirement for OneHive?
Yeah, as far as the age requirements, we are a mature clan. We do really target more adults than anything else. And one of the key factors there is that minors just tend to be more restricted by external influences than
Hmm.
adults are. So None of us is getting grounded. None of us is getting our phone taken away. As those kind of things happening and interfere in the middle of an important war, for example.
Right. Good point. Bender, how about at Genesis and Alpha?
Yeah, basically the same as what Byron said. We're an adult clan, and that's across the family.
Okay.
So look, to all you younger guys out there, don't lie. Be open and honest. If you think you're going to get passed by putting down a bodgy birth date or anything like that, we will find out, and you will then be banned from the clan. But anyone else is encouraged to apply again if they don't pass their tryouts. So don't end up on the ban list, guys.
All right, Iron Wolf.
Yeah, absolutely. We're looking for mature players, and that doesn't just mean age. It also means your maturity level, even as an adult.
Sure.
Can you get along with others in an adult clan? Do you have good social skills? Because I think all of us can attest, one of our successes is our ability to plan together, to succeed together, and to make each other stronger. So you need to be able to work in a group dynamic, and that should shine through in your application.
Nice. All right, guys. I do appreciate the time you've taken to help me out with this because, again, I get asked this all the time, and I didn't even know a lot of this stuff. So I thank you, each one of you guys, for coming on and representing the different clan in the family. I hope this answered a lot of questions for people out there. Really do appreciate it, guys.
Jake, it's been a pleasure
No problem.
being on your having the opportunity to talk to you today. And in honor of you, Jake, I'm gonna go have a sip of beer.
Nice. All right, guys.
Thanks a lot, Jake. Best of luck, everyone applying.
Thanks, LV. Thanks, Bender. All right, guys. Until next time, Jake, Lord Byron, Bender, and Iron Wolf, all from OneHive, doing our best to help you guys suck less.